And welcome to NODcast with Need You Say. I am your host, Need You Say, and yes, welcome back to my podcast. Let's get straight into it. So today we're going to be talking about something very, very intense. As you can tell by the title, what is shame and how to deal with it. Now, this is something that I think a large portion, a large percentage of people can agree with this, can resonate with this. I'm sure of that because this is something that we experience in our lives, and from events and circumstances and negative experiences. This whole topic of shame has quite a negative connotation, but there is some type of positive that can come from shame, which can prevent actions from repeating themselves or behavior from repeating themselves. And I think shame is also, to a degree, some type of awareness of feeling, being aware of feeling shame. And feeling shame because you are aware that you might have done something wrong, or that someone has done you wrong. So simply put, if we look at the definition of shame on what Google says, it basically describes it as: shame is an unpleasant, self-conscious emotion typically associated with a negative evaluation of the self. This includes withdrawal motivations and feelings of distress, exposure, mistrust, powerlessness, and worthlessness. Quite a mouthful of words that I had to project there. Very very strange, but in essence, this is what it's about. This is what shame is, the feelings of exposure and worthlessness, because we feel so shameful and we feel so low. So let's just look at a few shame words associated with shame. This is things like culpability, discomposure, embarrassment, humiliation, mortification, self-conscious, and shyness. All to do with shame, regarding shame. So now we know what the definition is. Now let's look at prompting events for feeling shame, because I think that there are certain events that prompt the shameful feeling to arise, and that is things like being rejected by people you care about, being reminded of something wrong, immoral, or shameful you did in the past, having emotions, experiences that have been invalidated, exposure of a physical characteristic you dislike, and failing at something you feel you should be competent to do. So failing at such a task, and others attacking your integrity. That is quite a big one, and I relate to it quite a lot, the attacking of integrity, because I feel that as I've begun this journey, I'm not perfect. I'm just someone that has taken the journey of healing, and what I ultimately want to do is just spread awareness of these kinds of things and emotions, and through insight and perspective, we can learn on how to deal with things such as shame, guilt, negative emotions, and also how to invoke a positive mindset, because I feel that's very, very important. And because it resonates so much with me, because there's so many personal experiences I can draw from, that I really would like to share, and I want people to share as well, and I want people to connect, and I want to develop it's not something new that I'm doing, but it is something that I want, something new that I might want to develop in someone. some type of thinking. They might go on to help other people. This is how we get over things and tackle these types of situations and negativity, because I think we need to reach a point of collective consciousness where we are collectively wanting to improve the lives of people around us and wanting to show unconditional love without even with it being second nature. I think that's really important, and this is how we achieve it. We achieve it through messages. We achieve it through various means. As it comes, the universe always speaks. We should just listen. Now we've covered type of events that prompt this. Being betrayed by a person you love, also another big one for prompting events. And what I have here is also, I have interpretations of events that prompt feelings of shame. So what does this include? This includes things such as believing that others will reject you or have rejected you. This is a huge one, because I feel like people, us as humans, some of us are so shameful. I've experienced this myself. Some of us are so shameful that we kind of believe that people have rejected us without even have spoke to that person or have interacted with that person to a certain degree, and we make up our minds that they have rejected us, or they will reject us. Judging yourself to be inferior, not good enough, not as good as others, self-invalidation. I feel that a big part of this, as we all know, is obviously social media. And I feel like social media has had such a great impact on our feeling self-conscious. And this comparison makes us feel not good enough, which invokes feelings of shame to some extent. If we look at the scenario, self-invalidation, we don't feel valid enough. We don't feel validated. Our actions feel like it's less than the person that we might be following on social media. It might be a celebrity or someone extremely successful. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing to strive to be like someone successful. We can definitely draw inspiration and motivation from it, but I feel to some extent it should not be a direct comparison to an extent where we feel inferior. That's definitely not where we want to be. Another interpretation of events that prompt feelings of shame is believing yourself unlovable. This is a big one. This was a big one for me. Believing myself unlovable. It was one of the hardest things to actually feel loved, because there's always people around you and always people around us that say they love us and say they care for us, but when we are in feelings of shame and feelings of guilt and depression, when we're suffering from depression especially, it's very hard to believe yourself lovable. So you feel unlovable, which is actually not true. It's just our mind playing games. But this is what the feeling of shame invokes. So we have to be aware of this. Thinking that you are defective. We always feel there's something wrong with us. There's always something that needs to be fixed. Yes, we do have problems we need to fix. And yes, we do need to do a certain amount of healing in our lives. But to think we are defective, to think we are kind of, we are problematic, whether that be physically or mentally, because of these feelings of shame, it's really bad. Thinking that your behavior, thoughts, or feelings are silly or stupid. Another one, I would say, relatable, I think, to many people, because we feel that our behavior and thoughts and feelings are irrelevant. And it's kind of like in life, we have these situations where we experience some type of we experience something a certain amount of times, and then we make up our minds that in these situations I'm feeling like this, so clearly it's stupid or it's irrelevant or no one wants to hear that. And you feel like, why, almost like I'm the only one feeling this and no one else is feeling this type of way. I think it's also because people have stopped vocalizing how they feel. I feel as a man, as a male as well, males have been programmed over a long course of time to feel like, oh, we cannot share our emotions, therefore any emotion that we feel that is sensitive or more feminine of energy is silly or stupid, which is, that makes you feel shameful when you feel like your thoughts are inferior. That has a huge impact, very huge impact. Now, biological changes and experiences of shame. So what happens when we actually feel shame and how to identify it? Well, a few examples. Obviously, everyone experiences every emotion differently. That is normal. It's individual. It's our chemistry, our how our DNA is made. Like, there's a variety of scientific ways which these biological changes come about when we feel ashamed. So generally, it's a pain in the pit of the stomach. This we can feel. Definitely, I felt it. It feels like sometimes it even just feels like an empty void, really, or like an empty hole, because you feel so shameful that you want to disappear, and that's associated with shame, is to want to run away, hide away, cover yourself, because you feel exposed. A sense of dread. Sense of dread is so heavy because dread just describes it perfectly. It encapsulates the feeling, that sense of dread. Like, it's a dreadful thing, like you don't want to experience it, and it just makes you feel really, really strange, wanting to shrink or disappear, like I've said, and wanting to hide your body or your face. It just kind of, you just want to cover up. You want to cover up because you are feeling like I need to hide. I need to hide right now. This is shameful. I can't take this. And all these feelings. You might feel flustered. You might blush vigorously. One thing I do, it's not just with my shame, but it used to be with my anxiety when it was really bad and stuff. But when I used to not be intoxicated in any way of substances or alcohol, when I was completely sober, it was really hard. I would feel such anxiety and an extreme amount of shyness. It's actually crazy. Like, it somehow affected my confidence, I would say. Somehow it had an impact. So I definitely think some people can relate to that excessive shyness, and you don't know why it appears in any situation. It could be like I don't know, some girl that's walking by, or some figure that is kind of, you make yourself feel inferior because clearly they are smarter, they have more money, and you feel kind of shy. Expressions and actions of shame. So this includes hiding behavior or characteristic from other people. So you're hiding your behaviors or like a certain characteristic of yourself. Avoiding the person you have harmed. This is an extreme amount of shame. I remember that this one time I was in school or something, and I got into a fight, and I punched a guy, and I got quite violent, really, and I felt a heavy sense of shame. There have been worse scenarios where this has happened, but this is one that I would recall on the podcast. Avoiding persons who have criticized you. Also another one, yet again relatable. It resonates with me as well. Avoiding persons who have criticized you. So, like, for example, you get bullied at school, you get bullied in the workplace, or you just get mistreated by someone and they make you feel inferior yet again, and you try to avoid them, when in actuality you should not avoid them, and you should walk proud and keep your head up, because at the end of the day, it's kind of, they are just expressing behaviors that reside in them, these negative behaviors, and it's just them trying to share that pain and trying to spread it across to other people, which is not right. I mean, but there's both sides to the story here, but we'll look at this for now. Avoiding yourself, distracting or ignoring. This is a big one. When we feel shameful, we don't even look after ourselves. Our self-care goes down. Our will to do things go down because we feel so shameful, because we want to just isolate and hide. So we tend to distract ourselves with either movies or YouTube, or in my case, much of my shame was substance abuse. I was ignoring myself and ignoring my inner voice and my true self, and abusing substances. Definitely ended up in very bad space after that. But you know what? I realized that granted me awareness to realize that it was a problem. Another one is appeasing, saying you are sorry over and over and over. This one is real because people become so shameful that they think they have to apologize for every one of their actions. And we can see this. If you see this happen to yourself, remember, everything I say, everything I mention is just for us to become aware. Because to some degree we have shame. And it's just for us to become aware of our behaviors. And from there we can change it. When we change program subconscious behavior into a conscious, we can then convert it. Because we are alchemists. We are alchemists, changing from negative to positive. Bad behavior, good behavior, bad habits transfer to healthy habits. And after effects of shame is attacking or blaming others, conflicts with other people, isolation, feeling alienated, one I mentioned, impairment in problem-solving ability, depersonalization, disassociative experiences. This one is so heavy because I remember so many times where I was dissociated and depersonalized to such an extent that it would feel like I'm outside of my body. It was a surreal experience. It's kind of like I get goosebumps because it's like a surreal experience. And you think like, what is going on with me? Why can't I even it's like you are completely detached even from what you say. It's like you are viewing yourself in a third person. It can get really extreme. And you feel excessive and heavy numbness. Oh, the numbness is crazy because you feel nothing. You feel like you are just, I don't know, like just a brick. That, let's say you could have the consciousness of a brick that would feel nothing. It would just be, but not a good just be, but like a very negative, and you can just feel yourself sinking in. I used to have a feeling of sinking inside of my chest, where it got so bad that it used to pain so much until I would obviously dissociate and detach from my body, so to say. Very, 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 very intense things that happen with feelings of shame. It's actually, the effects are absolutely crazy. Now, I'm gonna name some how to deal with this actually now. So we've become, obviously a way to deal with it is become aware. Now, opposite actions for shame, right, is make public your behavior. So talk about your behaviors, what makes you feel shameful, with people obviously that you love and care and you trust, with everything, and then another important thing is the only time you apologize for your behavior, because you might do and say something in your feelings of shame that you might regret, or you might come across very different, and people, your family might wonder what's going on. So just apologize. So make public, apologize, and commit to avoiding that mistake in the future. So if you made a mistake that inflicted that shameful after effects, shame is good in that sense. Like I mentioned in the beginning, shame is good in that sense because it will make us commit to avoiding making a mistake or doing something that will make us feel shameful at a later stage, and then accept the consequences gracefully. This comes with acceptance, and it comes with forgiving yourself and letting go. Two very important things. We need, with the process of healing, we find that we can forgive ourselves, and it is okay to forgive ourselves. We can let go, because this is what we learn through spiritual practices. We learn that we can, when we meditate, we are in the moment, and we can let go, and we can forgive ourselves, and we can truly heal what has been bothering us all along. And that, all in all, is shame and the awareness of it. Somewhat of my experience. Very, very something I would like to go into further detail in the next few podcasts. Definitely going to be covering a few more emotions. Don't worry, it won't all be doom and gloom and reminding you of the bad things. We will raise awareness as well for good things, such as love and happiness and joy and blissfulness, and really how to achieve these kinds of things. Just going to give a big shout out. Oh, this is, by the way, this is not a sponsor, and in no way is this a sponsor in any way, shape or form. But Tenzing, you have to know. You have to know. If you know, you know. If you don't know, get yourself some Tenzing. Honestly, the best natural energy drink purely from plants. This is not sponsorship at all. It's not an advertisement. It's just me promoting this good product. It's really good. What you can do is, if you are interested and you live in the UK, you can go over to my website at www.okay4todayonline.com. I will link it down below, and what you can do is you can scroll down on my welcome page, and at the bottom you'll find a link to an Amazon link to buying a 12 pack of these Tenzings. And what happens is that when you buy through this link, I get a commission for selling this product. So that way I can raise some money. I can, get better equipment. I can donate a portion to charities. And just that financial aid, I think that anyone needs to kind of maintain something, especially since I'm new and I'm still very new to this and all these kinds of things. So that would be appreciated if you can check it out. I have a few other affiliate Amazon links in a few of my blogs, so check that out. And then by helping yourself, you're helping me, and you're helping many other people, and we can continue to spread this message of positivity and awareness of these kinds of things. That's very good. Now, that's all for this podcast. It was very nice. I enjoyed it. And I will see you guys next time. You'll hear from me next time for sure. So stay blessed. Always be grateful. Be happy. Tell the people that you love them. Time is very short. Tell them you love them. Love unconditionally. Improving lives and loving unconditionally. That's the motto for 2021. And we're going to push this as hard as we can. And raise these vibrations, baby. Okay, thank you.